All right, everybody, here we go. Another Monday, another stream. How is everybody doing? I'll give everybody time to come on in from all the various streaming location. I'm live now on YouTube, Twitch, and X. So I can receive comments and react to comments on YouTube and Twitch. So this is Meteor.js Redis Oplog episode where I'll be looking at current state of Redis Oplog and seeing if I can maybe integrate it potentially locally into one of my projects. So I don't think I necessarily needed it for anything, but I want to kind of start the first steps and see what we can get going. So let me start a branch on my projects for Redis Oplog and kill all the business logic there. Okay, let's get rid of that. And I want to move now, show you what all this is about. So as you can, let's see, where are we? Redis Oplog. There, boom. So let's slowly get started. This is the repository for Redis Oplog. And we'll be going more in depth into in this one, what it's all about, and trying to implement it. Another big thing to kind of consider here is that it's, most of the times you don't need it. This is, once you get really into the bigger applications and everything. And recently there has been a bit of a controversy with Redis changing their license. And let me see if I have my old notes here in regards to I don't. Interesting. So I will have to eventually look it up again. Oops, what is going on here? Let me just shout out. All right, so we have that there. It's quite a day to be around because on Friday we had the first release candidate for Meteor, so a lot of stuff going on, and I'm just seeing we are getting a pull request already from Harry. For what is it, collection 2? Oh my. see what's going on here. A lot of code changes. That's quite a big, especially on the test, but so I will have to review that after this episode, most likely. And let's see if I can get, because the big thing about the Redis say changes was that there are alternatives to it, and which I want to get, say, a bit more into. And so there are actually alternatives, because the thing is, especially like with Redis performance, it's, from what I'm remembering, but it's a single thread pretty much. So if you have like a single threaded instance and all that stuff, then it performs great. But once you start moving into adding more threads, you have other alternatives which are more performant on those. And I think one was KeyDB was one of them. So let me share this stuff. So KeyDB is the alternative, I think, if I remember correctly, from Snap. Yes, you have KeyDB is now part of Snap Inc. and completely open source. I do believe that's what I've currently installed. I think that one is perfect with when you have two threads going on. So that one is great for that. And then there is, I think it's called Phoenix or something like that. No, not Phoenix. Something else, but that one really starts shining up when you have like really robust big server or like multiple threads. I think around 8 was that. So I'm going to be sticking probably right now with the KeyDB on that one, since I have it installed. And there is also MemoryDB from Amazon, I believe, for hosting. So let's see what we have. So that one is, I cannot find it. So I'll be using then, KeyDB. And the beautiful thing about Redis and all that stuff is that, or KeyDB, all those stuff, that you can connect any of these, KeyDB or any other alternatives for Redis to the Redis providers. And the Redis providers do not really care about the backend as long as it comes through the usual protocol that they have. So that's where it is, and it will also kind of depend on how I'm going to deploy it, since the backend really does not matter. So the data integration, no. So that one, that really does not matter. Let's see if I can find. Yeah, here we go. The docs. So here we have the documentation. For our purposes, I don't think we'll even need to look onto the documentation that much, and we'll be mostly looking at the Redis Oplog here and how to integrate it. So I see we have people in here. Before I start, let me know in the chat if you have been using Redis or Redis Oplog, and what are your thoughts. My use case in this case is that we have, say, speed issues in regards to, say, data, but it's mostly processing on our server, somewhere in between that server and the client. The issue is not retrieving it from the database, but I want to try to kind of get it into our code base to see if I see any improvements on our local host or not. So I am going to actually change my screen sharing here, go for the entire screen, and of course we need to zoom in to, was it 150, be readable well enough. So first things first, we of course will be adding the package itself, and then we'll be also adding the package disable oplog, because as the name suggests, Redis Oplog, Redis becomes or takes care of the oplog feature. So that's that. Let me just quickly check here for the local settings. So we have to add the Redis Oplog settings as a new entry in my settings file. So I'm starting to do that. And right now I'm going to be setting up, I guess I'll go with the local host here because we'll have it locally. Okay. This here. And let me just see. We'll add the retry interval. We'll add the mutation defaults. Of course, I need to get rid of the comments here. Push phone. Apologies, I'll turn that off. Okay, so optimistic, push to Redis, all that stuff. Now then, I need to actually go and check out my ECDN, which I do believe I have already installed earlier. So I just need to get, let's see, in my case, I have been the Debian installation. I should have all of that ready. And let's get up, spin up terminal here, and see if I have the service running. Yes, I have the service running with all that stuff. Process everything. So now, because I have it, I think I have it set up, it runs on boot, so that's fine. Setting up Flash with systemd. I'm not running that, so that's not an issue. I don't want to install anything like that. So my first command, If you never used Redis KDB before, you want to play around with some commands, install KDB on the server, and they have some stuff. So let's check this. Okay, so 6379 is our, yes, so that's the default one. So yay, we have all that set up. And so let's see what else do we need to do here. In essence, from what I remember, this is pretty much it. So it says just add Redis Oplog, you will see big performance improvement. And then we can fine tune your activity by using custom namespaces and channels. But your own custom reactivity using Redis vent, which we are using KeyDB, so we don't have that. I think this should be enough for us to try to run this. And I'm kind of curious. Oops, apparently not. Oh, because I'm running it in the other, in here, in the other one. So let's see if I can reset this and if it's going to work, or if I will run into some issues. But this is all experimentation. We'll see what happens, and potentially might even release a new version if we find anything that we need to work on. Okay. Yeah, this was just because I'm switching branches without stopping the server. So we'll see what happens now. Okay, still the same issue. Couldn't find collection instance name present servers. The cursor description was collection name selector. So this is coming from Redis Oplog. And this case, I think present servers is from socialize. Yes, socialize present server presence. Since we have MongoDB running, I will be going in and to see, maybe I just need to clear the collection. Also for my sponsors, if you want, you can join me. You can join me on over here via the link that you have in your email. So let's see, present servers. Yeah, there is nothing there because we are running localhost, and potentially the issue is that it does not like that. And I do believe that Kelly has made a lot of specific adjustments. So we are socialize server presence. Let's see if he has any specific things in regards to Redis Oplog, because a lot of these socialized packages are optimized to use Redis Oplog as well. You don't have to do that, but then, of course, when you're optimizing it, they are more optimal and running faster. So let's see. Don't see anything here in that regard, so it should be running fine. So let us check the error, and this is kind of where we go probably more into the deep dive. We could not find the collection instance by name. Present servers, which is not true because that collection exists supposedly with one document. That's strange. 3 indexes, that makes sense. And then we have the user sessions, which doesn't make sense much to have there that many. So this is working. So I'm going to be opening here my Redis Oplog. And I will be looking into this observable collection file. And we'll be looking at line 42. So if it doesn't have the collection, it will throw Meteor error. And will not be able to do much else with it. Cursor description was present server selector, nothing, options. So I am thinking if we go back over here, it might be a query. So servers is this. And was it transform null? Observe remove, check for watchers. So on the start, it runs observe. So find dot observe. Oh, bugger. That's an issue because I cannot find anything. Could not find the collection instance by name. So let's check how it's looking up for the collection instance. Get collection by name. Cursor description collection name. Okay. So the plot thickens, and we need to go into Meteor itself to check out if we have this function there like that, or oops, mongo.collection get collection by name. I'm wondering if this might not be a bug and we don't have to go raw collection, which would be a problem because in this case, then it might be an async function. The problem here is also awesome all the 3.0 release here. So let me check out devel. Yay. And see now if maybe find something. No, so mongo.collection. Yes, so let's check out for mongo.collection. That would be, yes, mongo.collection. Here we go. Which is this function. It's a function, interesting. Since this is an internal thing, kind of wondering. Okay, here we go. This is where it should be then under here. But since we cannot find it, there is a potential that this might have been removed in some version, because it's self underscore collection. That's underscore collection. This is a big, yeah, that's correct still. So we only have here maybe set up replication. So let me open up Meteor and see if we have maybe some, oops, not issue. Just want to search this entire thing to see. No mention whatsoever. So if that is the case, I'm kind of wondering if we don't just have it here. So yes, so see hook. So it's being described over here. So it's yeah, constructors mongo collection. So it adds to it and returns this map. So what it does there, it maps all the collection. But not sure exactly. How and where. That's the big question, I would probably say. So okay, so it has its own, it's resolved to that hook. And initiate the collection. So it's trying to initiate the collection. It has problem with that one. The logic of changing cursor based on the collection level configuration. So that's a bit more advanced. But first we need to figure out why this is not working as per usual. Since we are working in a live environment, I'm going to find here my packages, and I'm just going to put the entire Redis Oplog there so we can debug in real time. Sure. And here we said observable collection was the stuff here. So it's still crashing, but now it should be. I'm actually in the newer version that we are preparing to release, I believe. So that did not fix the issue we have here. So I want to say .log. Let's see. I want to get this collection name. And then in this hook, or I want to see the I want to see the entire map just to see what's there, how it works, and maybe I can make more head and tails out of that. So, okay, oh, what is this? So let's start here. So collection name is present servers. Here we have the hook underscore collections or collection. So that's just creating it. Name clients. So that's okay. Teams. Okay, so these are all the collections here. And we are looking for present server. So it's feedback. Quiet it down. Work categories, offers, work groups. Oh, interesting. Performance history, game. Okay, this is getting a bit annoying, so I'm going to do object.keys format. I hope it's an object. Yes. So here we see all the collection. And straight out of the box, I can see that the collections from the packages like socialize and so on are not here. Because if we go back to where do we have my Mingo? Over sequence, you have all the socialized ones, of course, then the server presence, and then some Meteor 1, of course, jobs, and so on. We only have those, and not even that, we have only limited number of collections, performances, team. So what I am wondering about, if I go to the let's see, main here, and I want to do publications. I have the methods, and then I have the collection index. And here I'm just importing that extent via socialized base model or requires special initialization. So just profile and user. And the rest is taken care of elsewhere. So I am wondering now then, if I did not miss something from here. Okay, so we have the optimistic UI, which I am using. So let's take a read. Collection. Okay, responses from the methods. So by default, the config is enabled. If you aren't using UI the same way, it will lead to more performance. So we have that for the true. If you're using client-side inserts not within a method, no changes are required. The optimistic by default. Mhm. Okay, so we can have it even further improved with additional settings. Um, so let's take a bit of a fine-tuning look here, and we have a general idea of how this works. We can make some fine-tuning to increase the speed of our highly loaded app. So we skip the how it works part. So this package will allow you to use Redis pub subsystem to trigger changes and subsystem will work. We don't use Redis as database. We do not store anything in it. Okay. Write the mutators from the collection, insert, update, upsert, and remove to publish the changes to Redis immediately after they have been sent to the database. Let's take an example. So if you have an insert, is after the insert is done into the database, we'll publish to Redis channel items, same name as the collection name. The fact that we did an insert and the ID of the document we inserted. Update things get a bit interesting in the back. So publish the update event to items channel in Redis, but also to item ID channel. The reason we do this will be explored later in the document. Direct processing. Send to Redis the update event along with document underscore ID and the fields that have changed. If you choose to update multiple elements based on a selector, use that. We'll fetch the IDs that have archived false. We'll perform the update. Then we'll send end messages to messages channel or end messages to items, blah, 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 blah. All messages are sent to Redis asynchronously, so you will have no perceived delay for your methods. Everyone is almost the same constant update, except, of course, the event sent is removed instead of update. So here we have the listening to changes when you create publication. Meteor, you return a cursor on an array of cursors. So for example, we have this my items, so that we'll get it will subscribe to the channel items, and our incoming message will be processed to see if it affects the query, and it will send proper changes to observer, aka the client. We reuse publications that are the same and Redis channels that are the same, so processing is done as little as possible. For example, if you have a blog post with comments displayed reactively, then all users that are subscribed to the comments of your blog post will share the same watcher. So it kind of goes first to Redis before it goes to the database. So now with the direct processing. Alan, if you're talking about the issue with the database, let me just, I will be getting back to it because this is an issue that affects all our collections created in packages, and I will have to look a little bit more at it. But I'm right now reading on all the details to see if there is some sort of a hint. If there is some sort of a hint that I might need to set up something extra or something like that. So direct processing, there's another special use case for listening to changes, and it is related to cursor that are filtered by underscore ID. We call this direct processing. So yes, I have quite a few of those where I'm returning by specific IDs. In this case, we won't listen to items channel at all. We will instead listen to multiple channels which are for that specific ID. So the most effective ways to catch changes and process them because of performing diffs is very small. And then we can have, push to Redis to be false. Okay, so that's how it works. We have here the fine-tuning, which you can select custom channels, you can do namespacing, and some other Redis specific stuff, specific polling intervals. And this is actually, I think, what Kelly has been doing with the configuration at collection level in some of these socialized packages. The issue, though, yeah, this is more advanced than I want to right now. The issue I have is, let's see if we can put it in here and somebody has already figured it out. We have two closed. Oplog, once our application, I get the following error message. So it's exactly the same. We're using SRMS model layer. Any idea what's going on? So on S317 here, issues I didn't see before. Any help would be great. Yep. Misplaced the order of packages. When I remove the package, I changed the load order notice. I forgot to check that. Make sure packages starts with let's see. So the idea is to move the order of, yeah, so here we go. Let's try. If we disable Oplog and code of coders to move them. Let's see, where could we put them? I'm thinking we could put them over here, just past the basic ones, because I don't have accounts, and all the socialized one come afterwards. I would expect the opposite to be the case here, but let's see now. Okay, now you actually see I see all of them. So that is interesting. Oh, I now understand. So because what is happening is first it needs to be up there so that it can add in the prototype and all the other stuff before the collections are loaded. So I think this is something that's potentially that we should add into the FAQ section. When it comes to, let's see, where could we put it nicely? Notes, stats, and we have the docs. Domestic UI. Let's see. Just quickly check here. This looks 2 weeks ago. I haven't had a chance to check this. So Cohen has approved this. So I'll think I need to click approve and run here. So let's do that. See, the test will run fine. So where do we put this thing? I think it should go under installation. So I'll go for see what you can configure. And okay, so it's actually here and I wasn't reading properly as the first options. So it's just me not being careful enough and reading. Sweet. So now looking at things here. First of all, let me revert these to how they used to be because we don't have I want to have any extra stuff. And I have here the Redis Oplog warning. A race condition occurred when running absurd, which in a way, I think this might actually find my performance issue. Because I think because that is something that okay, I will actually over here. Yes. So where does this warning happen? I want to actually see a little bit more. Little more information. It means that we ran an absurd thinking there will be no docs. There were no docs initially found matching the selector. However, a document sneaked in, resulting in a race condition. And if we look again for the document, we cannot retrieve it. Or a new document was added, modified to match selector before actual update. Oh, wow. And as we see it like here a lot, I'm guessing it's a result of some sort of a job that I'm running, so I want to know what kind of let's see, can I imitator. Let me see what this and selector. So it's going to be there. Maybe I'll just see selector and I'll be happy. Oh, there we go. Okay, so this is actually, judging by the server ID, this is from Kelly's package with the servers. I think judging by this and few other things, it might be better to disable it for that collection altogether, because that also is with the server presence, it's not something that you need to have for Redis Oplog. Okay, so the good news is that we can ignore it, and it kind of also indicates a bug in that package, that it's maybe doing updates more aggressively than it should server, but That's it. So now let's take a look on. Here we have the application, and actually let's make this smaller and see if we have any impacts on doing stuff here. Yay, yay. Everybody is happy. Activity. That's this one. And let's see, let's make some money. Okay. And let's open up this guy over here. Let's go over here. Okay, this is not good. Let's try. Okay. And let's see, we did all of those things. And everything is pretty much working as it should. And now what I want to try and see if I can get into, let's see. I want to see, so we started it, we check it's working. I want to see if how can I get and see if there's like some sort of I would like to see if we have some sort of admin or visibility into it. Of course, we have this cloud, and then we have the OS stack. Software, data integration. So we have data integration. Refer to dogs here. So I will have to read a little bit more on these things. Now we have that, so let's open that. And so here we have the CLI. We have that one as well. Don't want that. I kind of want to see what's right now in there. So admin for Redis. I think that should be okay. UI for Redis. Let's see if we can have if there is some sort of okay. There is Redis Insight. Okay, so that's the one. Yes, this is exactly what I want to see. So let's see if I can. I don't want Windows. Debian. Seriously, want my email? They're just hungry for my. Why do you want my phone? They just want to sell me stuff. Ah, come on. Why can I not just download the thing? No, it wants it. This is so freaking annoying. I don't want any of your marketing now. I just want to freaking test the thing. Okay, so save. Thank you for your interest. Yes, that's nice. I kind of wonder if the key CDN has some sort of, doesn't look like, let's see downloads. Okay, so they have only the packages, yeah, for themselves. But I think given everything, how things work, oops, it should be able to connect to me locally and should be not a problem. So let's start Redis Insight. There we go, just another screen. All right, so let's use recommended settings. Yeah, sure, you can do analytics. Of course, encrypt everything, give me notification. Boom, and it sees here that I have it. It's running locally here. And okay, so this is the browser, and I want to check. There's a workbench, analysis tools, click. See anything here pops up. So DB0. Okay, so it has a database here, connection standalone. So I'm quite out of my depth here. So if anybody has any so query text, we have all of that. So create. We need to get. I wish we had something like with Mingo where it kind of shows me everything that's there. Let's see. Oops. So that we could kind of get started with that. Or let's see, analysis pops up. You are not subscribe. Okay, here we go. So we actually see what's going on here. This is funny because these are from the Steve Jobs package going on here. We have the present server. Perfect. So this we kind of see the channels here. So we can see here that all the database or collections have their channel. And then, of course, with the specific IDs, the present servers are happening. I think after the initial ones overflowing is there. So let's see if we do some more calls. If those get, yeah, see, just a lot of the jobs are, the paying for the job is very frequent. I think that might be worth to disable it, or on the other maybe keep it because that doesn't change that much. Here we see we have the audit log being added. We have the socialize profiles, the points from this game going on here. We have the offers being added. So boom, there we go. Let's make And you can see that on every press I have things happening there. And we just do test one here just for the lols. And now I'm wondering if, and we can see this is all happening here. So the thing is, this replaces the Oplog and all the other things. So now I'm kind of curious about how should we go in trying to maybe utilize this and deploy this? Because right now, Galaxy does not have Redis or any of the alternatives integrated. So there are some solutions or products. We want right now to look at the cache. Yeah, so caching is the use case we are using here from kind of the sub-millisecond latency, can speed up wide variety of database, key value data stores, here within multi-cloud deployment. So we even like the basic caching that we are doing there is going to help us. And let's see, key CDN. Do you have any? Oh, sorry, not key CDN. I use key CDN as well, but KeyDB. Let me see if they have any hosting or if that's something that we can host on our own. Okay, it looks like we host it on our own, that they don't have, because since they've been bought by Snap, that's what they are doing. And of course, yeah, we go to pricing. Let's take a look here. We have the Redis Cloud. What's Redis software? Okay, no, that's just nothing here. So cache, that would be caching for session management, semantic cache, session store, volatile session store. So even that, it's like $5 buckaroonies a month. That's the essential. One database per subscription, low traffic, and up to 10,000 connections. That's more than we need for our use case. Up to 16,000 operations per second, and you get basic support. If we go for the Pro, okay, they start charging by the hour. We have a comparison here. Essentials, AWS, we would go with that. So through direct, partners marketplace, on demand. We don't need any of those things. And okay, maybe the only thing that we might need then to switch to is data at rest, because we have some customers that are more into that there as well. So we could go with the Pro, but I think, and there's also annual, which is the even more than a Pro, but so you sign up for a year and get all these stuff. But the easiest one, yeah, would be to get the $5 a month cache. Let's see if I get started. What's okay? Add me to creating an account, or I can go through AWS Marketplace, which we might do because I might be able to get some credits, but that's getting more into the weeds of how we can actually deploy this. There has been some rambling. This might come to Galaxy, but I think given the recent changes and maybe performance-wise, it might be probably smarter to go with KeyDB instead of Redis. As we have seen, we can connect all the Redis tools to it. Everything just works fine because the protocol remains the same. And here we go. We have 2 megabytes right now of total memory. 700 clients. I guess that's for the statistics. CPU is minimum. I'll definitely give it a shot to deploy. And either with the official Redis Oplog, or sorry, not Redis, Redis database on AWS, so it's close to the Galaxy deployment, or maybe with KeyDB. But I think for right now, for my purposes, the KeyDB will be more than enough. And I will do a test deployment, and I will report you guys back if that helped our problems. Right now, we don't have issue. We don't have issues with the database being too busy. Database is actually more freer than our application, so it's something of processing on our servers. But then even I think it's still it might be helpful. So because I'm not exactly sure about the root cause of the problem, so I will give this a try, and we shall see how that is going to improve things. Now then, I am going to add these things here, and I will say add Redis Oplog, commit. I'll remove the local package because, of course, that's no longer needed and not desirable because we are not doing anything special with that. So that's ready for deployment. Alim is asking if I'm trying wall key or value key. I see now. Let me see if not exactly sure what you mean. Okay, so here is the value key. So that is the now BSD3 class license version of Redis that they have started. I have not tried it. Honestly, how things are, I am not that much interested in it. Let's quickly check here. Yeah, as you can see, I have quite a strict policy with new addresses and stuff like that. So allow list. Let's add it in. So in a moment, it will be happy and let me through. I am, as the end consumer, I understand where Redis came with their, because it's the same thing with MongoDB. The main issue is that big people who are selling the servers and everything and offering, Redis, MongoDB, were not really supporting the development of these technologies. And then the issue came with, as I showed here earlier in for example, in this case, MemoryDB, I remember correctly. Yes, Amazon MemoryDB for Redis. That's pretty much, if I remember correctly, what this does. Unless I'm mistaken, feel free to correct me. That does pretty much Redis, but with Amazon logo on top of it. So, which is like, say memory Redis, or at least that's how it got started. So it's the same thing that happened with MongoDB, that they saw that pretty much Amazon was taking the source code, slapping their logo on top of it, making some small adjustments to their servers or like to their version to work better on AWS. And that way, kind of stealing, you could say, customers from MongoDB, which then put the entire project in jeopardy. So same thing, issue with Redis. So I have no problem if I'll use Redis to pay Redis for, for using their cloud or their stuff. If I think that's, more than fair, at least even to try it out for $5 a month, that's a rounding error for companies, especially with us, where we have income from customers. So $5 a month is not going to kill us. It will allow us to evaluate it, and then who knows, maybe we'll just deploy it on our own servers and whatnot. But it's fine. Let's see if this one loads up. I think it's though from the I think Linux Foundation, if I remember correctly, is already supporting that. So where did I have the original bulky? There we go. So performance, data structure, server parameter, source key. Thing is, even this still relies on the Redis connectors to work. So we'll see if they create their own ones and go into that. So since everything is going through Redis connectors, I might use Redis. If we can, want to get more performance, I would probably go with KeyDB because of all the threading issues that I've mentioned at the beginning. We did. Did we? No. Okay. So after our Meteor dispatches episode on this, I actually looked and found some performance or benchmarks. I think it might be this one. Let me double check here. Yes, Dragonfly, this one. So these are the comparisons. And the big thing was based on how many threads you run, then you will have with the different, you can see here, Dragonfly runs, super awesome and fastest when you have like 8 threads or more. If you have 2 threads, then KDB is what you want. And let's see. Well, Redis isn't really. Yeah, Redis starts performing in the latency is no, that's actually here you want the smallest one. Yeah, it goes. I think there was one maybe over here. Yeah, so for example, here you see the latency for Dragonfly until it gets to larger sets is not that good. If I remember correctly, the summary was that one thread, you want Redis, and yeah, one thread set, and doesn't really matter. It's actually might be better, but once you go to 2 threads, KeyDB is what you want, and if you want 8 threads, or if you can get 8 threads, then that's when Dragonfly starts to shine. When Kalikan spreads its resources across multiple threads. So that one is, I think at least that's kind of my takeout from these. So, but at least I think for the beginning to evaluate Redis Oplog itself, I will just go with Redis. And if I see that there is performance improvements towards what we want, then we might consider investing potentially into KeyDB and run that on our server for our more data heavy customers. So in that case, I would probably go with set it up to have 2 threads on that KeyDB instance and be happy with that. But I'm getting more and more out of my depth on these things. So I have another project that I want to try to integrate into, which is Meteor Universe. And this time, now that we know what I did wrong previously, I can fix that. So, but first, there's a comment from Alan. Amazon is one of those that are offering it as a cloud-hosted services. There's nothing that stops you from talking walk itself and running it on your own virtual private servers. Yes, that's the same thing that I will be looking into. The main thing is I don't want to spend that much time, if any, on managing these servers. I just want to set it up and kind of take care of itself, similar like I have with Galaxy. I don't want to deal that much with DevOps, or pretty much as little as possible. So that's why I would go for something that's already pre-set up there. So recently I've added new text editor to Meteor Universe. I want now to try to, let's see, actually I'm going to reopen my League app to get myself to set up first the settings for local. I'm going to hide it because I have some keys there that I don't want to necessarily put out there. So let's copy over the settings, which will be identical. And then now that we have that done, I'm just going to go a little bit more in depth. I'm going to put into the packages right here. This one, so I'll do Meteor update. To install them, and yes. Let's start this bad boy and see how we are going to get. If I'm kind of curious, actually, I want to. Oh, well, it shouldn't be a problem. Actually, it's going to be a problem now. I just realized. Let me stop that. What I want to do. Let's see, what does this do? Port, username, password. Don't care. Okay, so it's realized because there are some collections that are named the same. So I'm wondering, oh, sweet and nice. Redis search. Okay, so yes. If I can, let's see. I want to do the commands. I want to remove everything that's in the database. So Redis remove everything in the database. Let's get how do I delete everything in Redis? So I think I want to do then the flush all command. So hopefully that did the job, and now I can restart it locally. And we shall see what performance impact it has on things. I'm kind of wondering if it will solve some of my issues that I might be having with my. Okay, so here we go. The walkie, the official web page. Okay, here we go. Let's rain over starting up, because I am having quite a super annoying issue. Okay, first of all, okay, so we have this. I do believe that at the very least, this has loaded faster than I'm used to. Just the internet. No, now see it's frozen, but this is UI in the front. And oh yeah, there's this blinking. Still have not figured out what it is. And main thing I kind of want to get here, and I think it's the same thing that's slowing up the entire UI as is. So now it has kind of to see if it loads faster. It's maybe because it's primarily focused on writes and displaying that there. Let's actually check out our pops up, or was it pops up? Here we go. So we have, of course, again, the jobs, presents, all that stuff. So stories. And that should not have been loading, but that is indeed very strange. So let's see here. Yeah, this should not be loading so long on localhost. It should be instantaneous. Okay, so revision is there. It's fine. So at least from the initial looks of it, okay, so it has done some statistics here, all the other good things, chapter updates. I think in general it's not doing the reads, but let's go back and see how. Yeah, this is my performance issue that I'm trying to figure out why it's not, it's getting stuck and UI getting frozen. And I'll see now it's just complete. Wow. So yeah, this is All right, I am back. Apologies for that, everyone. Looks like that crashed my browser. So as that is something that's a big issue that I'm dealing with right now with Literary Universe, trying to figure out what the heck is going on there. Why is it, suddenly goes into what I could probably classify as like memory overflow or something. Why does it keep constantly on reloading? And if anybody has seen something similar like this in the past, and you might have some potential insight, that would be uh, amazing, because I would really like to uh, figure out why does it do that, what's the issue there. And I'm kind of getting one step at a time, but this is something I would say uh, very deep, and it seems, judging by what we've seen, if anything, Redis Oplog should make things run smoother and with the data, which here it did not. So I am now convinced more than ever that it's a front end issue, and something that I will have to address in some way, or I need to address it. So let me just commit these changes that we have added there, because that works. Redis Oplog works, and I will probably keep it running locally here for myself, as I cannot test this. But first, I need to figure out what's going on with my local structure here. What's the issue? Because I cannot think of anything that could potentially cause this. Hi, Anne. Hello there. So if anybody is proficient probably in React or has seen these similar crazy things happening, I would be super happy for any help or pointers. I get an issue here with lang container that it complains about hooks, but everything I've tried has not been up for that. But and I will not bother you here on the stream with trying to debug this any further. So that has been Redis Oplog. We have seen it works. It works with very little setup needed from your side, which is absolutely amazing. And then it just goes there. So the socialized packages are already optimized for Redis Oplog. They have, so if you just add Redis Oplog, the socialized packages have their own specialized optimization to make them more performant. So that's one of the reasons why I'll be adding Redis Oplog into Literary Universe once we start getting significant user base, because we have a lot of that included there. So that's it for today. I can report works perfectly with no issues. And with that, I'm opening this completely to your questions and anything else that you want to discuss or try here. Since none of the sponsors joined so far, I'll do the dangerous things of putting the link to the studio in the chat. So if you want to join me live in the studio, you are welcome to do so. And we can chat on whatever comes to your mind. If nobody asks any questions or anything else that like in the next 4 minutes or so, then that will be it for the stream. And in the meantime, if I am going to, let's see, I'm going to debug my language provider to figure out the unsaid bot incoming. Actually, funnily enough, I didn't have that issue in the past, so I would be surprised if suddenly we got a lot of bots coming in. But I'll start debugging my language provider here, trying to figure out why or which hook is causing the issue, because I have two hooks here. I have the use user, which is a Meteor one, and then use tracker with suspense. So before it goes to this old language provider, which even has like a specific provision if the component should update. It's an old, old React component. And I think if I can resolve maybe the hooks here, I could maybe even simplify this even further, not to update. So that issue has come here. Of course, it will not show anything because I removed the children. I still get this can perform React state update on a component that hasn't mounted yet. But you have a side effect in your render function that asynchronously later call tries to update the component. Move this work to use effect instead. So what could it be? Let's go even more here and don't even return this language provider, just to be entirely sure that everything works. So client has been modified. Let's try to refresh from the start. Still have this issue. So since we are not doing anything crazy, let's comment out our use tracker and see. The thing is, use tracker pretty much is a use effect. So that should not be an issue. And now it starts complaining INTL setup. Yes, so we do not want even this thing here. So let's try that again. Okay, so the use user is innocent. And the issue is here with our use tracker. Let me check back here. Yeah, so we just as I need to go here. So use user, as we have checked right now, if it's alone by itself, it doesn't. It's fine. So something in use tracker is triggering the state change. And if I look, I'm wondering here, maybe because I can, let's try if I do this. If I add here the user, which should not be necessary for the use tracker here, but yes, the check locale function is sus, isn't it? First, I want to kind of see if I have it here. So I'll do here that. And let's go a bit crazier here. Add more specific thing. And so I'm getting the local. I'm right now removing these two functions. And potentially here the local state.set, but that's like outside of React and everything. So let's see. Let me remove the any setting or remove. I'm actually also going to do here change this to this, so it's more performant. So I'm only getting stuff here. There's nothing being said here, nothing being changed. So let's see if it's issue with that. Okay, so it's one of these local state settings that's changing. So let me see if this local state is the issue. Okay, so that is the issue. React has issue with local state, which local state is, if I go to the client context here, that's just a reactive dict from Meteor itself, which first of all, I should probably make sure that I export properly. So I have the default export, because that's not necessary. Just a small reduction in lines. So we have local state, it's reactive dictionary. And as we see now, whenever we set it, React gets all crazy saying that cannot perform a React state update on a component that hasn't mounted yet. So checking how many returns it gets, we get here for the tracker. So that's intl setup like that. So it does 4 pretty much on, but let's go fresh. Yes, so before it even does any return, it throws fit and then it has 4 returns. So the issue there is that the reactive dict reactive dictionary, as we have over here, is not it's not React just doesn't like to set it and prefers if we set it like in use state or something. Let's see what the answer is here, and this is what makes it that's confusing. On one hand, you have the effect dependency, but also the internal dependencies from React Dict. So maybe I could just do, would be surprised, but local state. Dot get locale. Let's see if maybe that dependency helps, but I don't think that's the solution here. I'm wondering if that's just not compatible with React here, having the local reactive dictionary. Just so you guys know what I'm talking about, I'm going to, whoops, nope. This has been a little bit forgotten official package because you have reactive variable, reactive var, and reactive dict, which is pretty much a key value store that's reactive that you can put and use there. We have Jan joining in because this piques his interest. So let me get started here and let's get him on. Hi, Jan. Just a moment there. Let him get all set up. Let me get set up. Right now I don't hear you, so I'm wondering if my sound. Okay, mic check, it worked. I hear you now.
Yeah. So I had this in the React Native application before, a little bit similar, that I got this use tracker becoming with the login state. It just fired around wildly, and
Yes.
because of using a reactive update in the tracker and then also reading stuff in the tracker, and that made it totally crazy. And there are two things I try to get around: is having two different reactive variables, so two independent reactive variables, which is a little bit defying because reactive dict is usually what you should use in order to have multiple variables in one source. And the other thing what I was using is I completely got out of things with the use tracker and only had listened to reactive data in the tracker and had to move anything else into use memo, use callback, use effect, made a huge load of code around that, but then it somehow worked out.
Yeah, so I think this might be what's messing up my application and its performance with these maybe this firing so often. Even though what I did, I started using the suspense version of tracker, which I was hoping would help in that crazy firing. So you would suggest that instead of using reactive dict, I should be using reactive var, or maybe just move this to use just a local state for the container here.
So the thing is, you have this first line, you're reading the locale, and then later in that same tracker you're setting the locale, and I was trying to decompose this and have only one of them in the tracker, usually the reading part, and the writing part trying to get it from somewhere out of there, you know what I mean? And then usually you can handle that only if you have a local state in between, like a buffer or something like this, and then you have to somehow initiate that. I know that's not that easy. And
Yeah. What about if
that could be a thing.
I could put it here, and instead of calling it, I'll just call it current locale, and then I can have here again locale equals current locale,
for example.
Let's see. So, and I can English. So then I don't have to call it here again. I can just have it here as input. And I need to find now where I put my, yes. So let's do a full refresh, scratch. Ah, it's gone. So that was it, apparently. Okay, so it once I read, I wanted it wants it to be from the beginning. The issue is it still fires like 4 times, which is annoying. But since there are, I think, no changes, it shouldn't do any re-renders at least when it comes to that. So
I can just add. I mean, I have not that much of a React experience in the web, but due to the React Native on the mobile, I have some kind of experience, and I had to optimize a lot with the rendering. When you have a big rendering tree and then you have an old mobile phone, it gets easily very slow and clunky, and I use memo, use callback nearly everywhere to get this running somehow. And it gets very stressful once you have these interfering concepts of reactivity from React, and then with the one from Meteor. And I mean, use tracker is rather a bridge than really a new implementation or something, and then sometimes this can become trouble.
Yes, so let me also remove this. I have this. So I have the new locale. I'm going to add here the old locale. That's going to get it, so we don't have to. And it's going to be string. And I have here the locale, and then I just pass in the current locale. And yeah, this should not be a JSON property. This will be string. Not sure what would be. Yeah, I can just do string like that. No, I might need to go in here and do I need to maybe put it like this?
I'm not the TypeScript expert here, but maybe this.
Yeah. I don't think that. Okay, wait. Yeah, string or undefined. So it's now is. Yeah, it doesn't like if it's not undefined. So I'm going to add here English as a backup as the default, just in case. So let's see if that part is now will be fixed. So I think this is something that we should probably write somewhere in regards for people to be more very here at local state get locale. No, we don't want that because that's going to trigger the poor guy. So I just pass in the current locale. It's also making it more performant because I'm calling it just once at the beginning of render instead of in every function. The issue is if it would be used in another context, but that should be
this is always
the issue here is I'm getting the messages here, so
that's triggering again, right?
Yes, that's going to trigger the poor guy again. But I'm not sure how I can get around it. But wait, I'm just getting the messages here. I'm not setting them. So that should, in theory, be fine. Because what we have later on in this function is that I do set the locale to the new one. And here I'm getting them again, but that's just getting it, so it should be fine. The issue is when I do the change lang, like for the get messages.
Sorry, Jan, to interrupt you. I have to leave.
Yeah.
Good luck with the coding.
Yeah, thank you very much. I will be finishing up anyway. So thank you very much for this insight, and I'll see you, or we'll be talking back later on as we get ready for the Friday episode.
On Friday, right?
Yes.
See you.
All right. Thank you very much. See you. Bye. So that was Jan Kuster. You can see more of him on Friday on our regular Meteor Dispatches episode. So let us finish up with this part. So here we get lang messages, and then we also wait. So we get messages. We get the messages, and at the same time we set them here. So yikes! That is not. And that happens multiple times. So what I will do is we need to go back here and we need to do the same thing. So we need to get the current messages. This thing is happening in, where was it? Yes. Over here. So I'm going to get this here. This will be string. This will be JSON. So again, this is the check locale. Current messages. And I think we can try to put it here as well, so we don't. So we have two uses here. Open messages, current messages. Thing though is with these current messages, the only thing I am actually, what do I want for the current messages? I just want the locales of the messages, and then I do not really care. So messages locale, which is an array of string. And then I am happy. So messages locale. Can here. And here it is. Like that. And messages locale, so we can just make a question mark here. And we pass that on there as well. And the only thing that we now need to do here instead of current messages, going to do that dot locales. And for change length, we have them there as well. And yeah, and you can do the question mark to ensure that on the initial load, when they are not there, things work. And we can go here and expand the definition of what we actually have in the local state. Just will be pretty much like this: record string string. Or actually, there is a bit of string or string array, because there is one exception at the top of the system here that says that type string. Find. How can I? Can I best put this? We have the array of locals, and then we have. We can try like that. Yeah, because that's the exception. Not sure exactly how. Okay, I'll just have it like that. I'm not exactly sure how that would work in the types. So feel free to leave a comment for a better type on that. With this, we removed one error, but I'm kind of curious if we can you see this blink where it just suddenly goes blink and everything reloads. How should I say that? I am not exactly sure what's happening there. I'm just going to add here this part as a dependency. So that's actually the important parts. And the question is, let's see, the undo setup. I could probably just do quick messages. Local state get. So this is set. Do I need to get it again? That's the question. All right, I am back. Apologies, this time my computer crashed completely, which indicates that the issue is ongoing in the background and still there. But I think with Jan's kind of nudge towards the issue with getting and setting things when it comes to these states and reactive dictionaries, reactive variables, I'll be doing a thorough check of my components now to figure out what's potentially going on there. So, and I think that will be, yes, that will be my task going forward with all of that stuff. So, since I don't see any new questions or anything like that, I think it will be now time to close it before we have another unforeseen circumstances with all these crashes that are on my part as we do more performance improvements. Before we go, I would like to invite you guys to sponsor me via GitHub sponsors. You'll get access to my sponsor where pretty much once I figure out what's causing the issues with the universe, I will be updating those, and all those changes and improvements will make it into that sponsor, so you will be able to get that full code without any problems, and you get other benefits like issues priority or requesting the things to change things. For example, recently I did a session or options for users in Meteor to be stored instead of local storage in session storage for those that need more let's say security when it comes to user sessions. Just need to finish some tests that are not performing as I would like, but and then it should land in Meteor 2.16 and 3.0, hopefully. So that's one of the benefits of my sponsors. They can, kind of, if there's a feature that I find interesting and good, they can kind of direct me towards that. Or at the very least, I have here list of different, say, links, affiliate links that you can use for your own benefit, and it also gives something back to me as well. So that's that. And with that, thank you very much for joining me today, for the questions, suggestions. I hope you enjoy Redis Oplog in your application as well. Once you get some traffic, I think it's definitely nice to use. I would also probably say to match it up with GraphQL and or maybe with or using method for retrieving data and similar to for data that you don't need real time, and reserve publication and subscriptions for data that you need real time, and keep that usually as simple as possible. So once again, I'm Storyteller CZ on most platforms, or just Storyteller. And this was an episode where I tried Redis and Redis Oplog with Meteor.js to see if it's still working as it's advertised, which it does. And I will be informing you in the future as I implement it on my companies, see what are the improvements. In general, people were, through the history, saying amazing things about it. It might actually become an official package going forward, which I think makes only all the sense. So with that, have a great week. For those watching outside Meteor dispatches at the Meteor community channel on YouTube, I will see you on Friday with a dose of news about what was happening in Meteor.js community and the JavaScript ecosystem at large and beyond. Let me quickly check. Next Monday, will be again more of a philosophical debate, looking on where to next with this channel, with my GitHub sponsorships and all that stuff. And I will be also pretty much touching heavily on the open source tragedy of comments, which in many cases has been, I think it's increasing for the majority of smaller projects. Of course, not for the big ones, but I'll touch on that on Monday. So stay tuned for another great episode that goes more into the meta things of everything that's happening in open source and the tech community, and what will be happening with this channel probably going forward. So with that, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for your support. And that's it for today. Have a great week. See you on Friday or latest on Monday. Bye-bye.